Welcome back, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So, my name is Samantha. I'm the owner and operator of a 2-acre organic farmstead located in Southeast Louisiana. I was once an educator. Um, I've worn lots of hats in my life, folks, but it seems that here recently, God has appointed me to show people the absolute insanity happening in our country. Good morning, Miss Lisa. As you guys pop on, you know the routine. Hit the like button, drop over, tell me who you are, where you are watching from. So, hi, everybody. Let's just get this out of the way. Yeah, Sam has fever blisters. I had the flu and it took me off my feet. It has been 8 days, and the only time I've left my house is to go to the emergency room. I haven't gone grocery shopping. I haven't spoken to my neighbors face to face. I am stuck in my house. I even moved my vet appointment for today because I'm still so low in energy. So I'm hearing a lot of you are letting me know that it looks like DOGE is now over on the NOAA site, and they are busting it out the fact that the American taxpayers have been funding weather modification, cloud seeding, and weather warfare against the American people through grants and loans to not only universities, but organizations and states across the United States. So, do I believe that the majority of people that are sick right now in America, it has something to do with what they have been spraying in the atmosphere? I think that there's a correlation between the amount of illnesses and how sick we all are and the spraying. I can't say that they are spraying a virus on us. I don't have proof of that. What I can tell you is that what they're spraying is unhealthy for you to be breathing, and it's exasperating the illness at a minimum. Can I get an amen? At a minimum, it is making us sick for longer. So we can all agree on that. I think it's amazing what DOGE is finding. I think it's insanity that a federal judge thinks they have a right to tell our government not to tell us how the money is being spent. This is a fight that isn't going to stop anytime soon. So we're going to have to hold the line. We're going to have to ignore the crybabies and the ancients as they rattle the doors of the Department of Education, banging on it like toddlers. We're going to have to ignore that. We're going to have to ignore those people in your life that can't handle truth coming out. Okay, so I love you guys. We're going to get into it today because I just found a video, and from a woman who has a fluffy husband and who's a little fluffy herself. I feel like I can say this. This gentleman ought to lose a little weight and pick his own vegetables, because when I saw this clip, I was immediately furious that he had the audacity to tell Americans, if you have a problem with illegal immigration, stop eating. Stop eating. And I would say to him, if he and I were face to face, how dare you import illegal aliens and only pay them $100 a day to do what you obviously physically can't do and won't do? That is slave labor. I run a farm. You guys, let me tell you something. Sweet potatoes are hard to get out of the ground. Okay? It's so hard on your back. You work bent over the whole day. You're bent at the waist, face to the ground, picking. Okay? This man paid illegal aliens $100 a day to pick sweet potatoes on his third generation family farm, and he's angry because nobody's showing up to work anymore. Well, let me tell you what you do. You go to the local jail and you talk to the sheriff and see if there's anybody that's locked up for something, say like they didn't pay their child support or something that's non-violent, like a drug charge. that would like to learn a little bit about farming, and you pay them $100 a day. There's ways to fix this. It's just so funny to me to watch these business owners tell you the truth. Oh, I only pay him $100 a day. What he's not telling you that they don't get sick days. They don't get paid sick days. They don't get workman's comp if they get hurt. If they get bit by a rattlesnake picking sweet potatoes. No workman's comp, folks. Nothing. If they want a bottle of water, they got to buy it from him. It's like slavery. It's like slavery. He's going to charge them to get them to the job site and back where they're staying at, but he's not going to tell you that. They tell you the truth while lying to your face. It's heartbreaking. Just look at him. This man's sickened me.
And that's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating.
Quit eating.
That'll solve the problem.
But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin, the loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble, bad trouble.
Smith's 200 acres need 20 pickers, mostly Mexican nationals.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that workforce.
Most of your workers are here illegally.
That's sure. If they got documentation, they got a better job working for me.
Wait, did you guys hear that?
Has worked Smith's farm since
He admitted it. If they're documented, they have a better job than working for me. Why, folks? Can you not see what these people like this man is doing? That's slave labor. You know you're not paying these people a living wage. It may be a very old video. It doesn't matter if it's a very old video. It is the truth. It says January 27th on it, so I don't know how that's very old. But anyway, so here's my point. You admit that if they were documented, they would not be working for you. You admit that you need them or your entire farm is going to crash. Here's where the biggest lie comes in. There's not enough documented workers in this country. Yes, there are. Yes, there are. There most certainly are enough workers in this country. And we're going to prove that to you guys. Because I know how people are. And I know how they think.
About a third of the construction workforce in this country is Hispanic. Of those, a large portion are undocumented. So how do you propose to build all the housing necessary that we need in this country by removing all the people who are working in construction?
Well, I think it's a fair question because we know that back in the 1960s when we had very low levels of illegal immigration, Americans didn't buy houses and build houses. But of course they did. And I'm being sarcastic, of course, in service of a point, Lulu, the assumption that because a large number of home builders now are using undocumented labor, that's the only way to build homes. I think, again,
the country is much bigger. The need is much bigger. I mean, I'm not arguing in favor of illegal immigration. I'm asking how you would deal with the knock-on effect of your proposal to remove millions of people who work in a critical part of the economy.
Well, I think that what you would do is you would take, let's say, for example, the 7 million prime age men who have dropped out of the labor force, and you have a smaller number of women, but still millions of women prime age who have dropped out of the labor force.
Yes.
You absolutely could re-engage folks into the American labor market. This is, I think,
to work in construction?
Of course you could.
I mean, the unemployment rate is 4.1%. Most people
unemployment rate, Lulu, this is important.
But most people who don't work can't work in the regular economy. They're in the military, they're parents, they're sick, they're old. They might not want to work in construction.
The unemployment rate does not count labor force participation dropouts. And again, this is one of the really deranged things that I think illegal immigration does to our society is it gets us in a mindset of saying we can only build houses with illegal immigrants when we have 7 million, just men, not even women, just men who have completely dropped out of the labor force. People say, well, Americans won't do those jobs.
Yes,
Americans
we will.
Won't do those jobs for below the table wages. They won't do those jobs for non-living wages, but people will do those jobs. They will just do those jobs at certain wages. Think about this from the perspective of an American company, okay? I want them to go searching in their own country for their own citizens. Sometimes people who may be struggling with addiction or trauma, get them re-engaged in American society. We cannot have an entire American business community that is giving up on American workers and then importing millions of illegal laborers. That is what we have thanks to Kamala Harris's border policies. I think it's one of the biggest drivers of inequality. It's one of the biggest reasons why we have millions of people who've dropped out of the labor force. Why try to re-engage an American citizen in a good job if you can just import somebody from Central America who's going to work under the table for poverty wages? It is a disgrace, and it has led to the evisceration of the American middle class.
About a third of the construction work.
And I agree with him. So I do see you guys over here saying something about the Super Bowl commercials from Elon Musk. Now, if you watched my video last night, I put up a straight video that's trending quite well right now. And I told y'all in there, it is reported that he's going to do this. Reported. He didn't do it. It happens. It was a rumor. That's why you always do your own research and read the articles the way they're written. Because I told y'all, it says it is reportedly that Elon Musk has done this. I was hoping he had done it. I'm not going to lie. I really had. Now, let me tell you guys what's actually going on. So there's this gentleman who got a job when he could not for years.
For the immigrants, and I'm not talking about the good people. I wouldn't have a job right now. Mr. President, I've been working all day, Mr. President. I just got off, Mr. President. I got
He's
a
so
job
excited.
for Monday, Mr. President. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, let me tell you, man, I walked in today on a construction site, hired me on the spot. I started work today, just got off, y'all. Mr. Trump, thank you so much.
It's a beautiful thing to see. He wasn't looking for handouts. He wasn't waiting on a government check.
Nope.
He wanted to work. And for the first time in years, he finally had an opportunity. And who does he credit for it? Donald J. Trump. And honestly, some people might think that that's an assumption. Maybe he just got lucky. Maybe this time the construction site was just hiring random people on the streets. But come on, don't be so naive. He got that job in the way that he did because the labor market has shifted. Because Trump actually got rid of the competition that should have never been there in the first place. For decades, illegal immigrants flooded the labor market and absolutely gutted wages for American working class people. And when we're having that conversation, who do you think is getting hit the hardest? Who do you think is disproportionately affected, to use the Democrats' own terms? Well, of course, the Black and Hispanic communities. The very people that Democrats claim to care about. The very same people that Democrats exploit for votes every election cycle, only to turn around and screw them over with policies that favor cheap foreign labor and big business. It's actually very basic, simple macroeconomics, very simple economic reality that Democrats refuse to acknowledge. The more low-skill workers that you import or that you allow to walk in the country with total impunity, well, the lower wages are for everybody else. If you flood the market with millions of illegal workers, businesses are going to hire them over American citizens every single time. Why? Well, because they can pay them under the table, avoid taxes, avoid benefits, and cut corners. And that, of course, is exactly how we got here. That's how you end up with Black and Hispanic Americans getting priced out of jobs. And under the Joe Biden administration, it got worse than ever. A record number of illegals poured into the country. Joe Biden basically took what was happening and then put it on steroids.
Yeah.
And he pushed American workers, and especially minority workers, further and further to the bottom of the
And they did do that. I will try to make sure that from now on, when I do clips like this, I have the CC on my end, so it's closed captioning for you, Cameron. But now that it's here, there's not much I can do. I'm not tech suave, you guys. I'm a farmer, okay? Like, if you want to see me in my element, I'm knee deep in some crap without gloves. I don't know why I'm like that. I have a million pairs of gloves on this farm, but every time I find myself in a manure pile, there are no gloves in sight. I don't know why. But I'll tell you this, I don't get sick from spring until winter. It's like I just don't get sick because I'm in the sunshine, I'm in the dirt, I'm in the ground, I'm barefoot, I'm sunburnt. I mean, that is who I am. What you're seeing right now is what I do on the side. This is Sam's side hustle, so to speak. So you heard him saying, thank you, Mr. President. And of course, I will put as many of these videos that I have links to, I'll put them in description once the video is finished, okay? So you have people like that are like, thank you. I have wanted to work and I couldn't because nobody would hire me. And let me find the others. Okay. So this I found, I couldn't quit laughing. You guys know that my sense of humor is wicked, so I thought I'd share it.
Get that black job, man. I'm sorry, man. I was just too slow. I had a big ass breakfast. Gordo, black job, gordo. Wait. Let's approach him gently. Nice and slow. Let's go. Hey, bro, you need some help?
No, amigo, I got it.
Hey, man, let me ask you a question. How much you make an hour?
About 40 an hour.
That sounds like a great part-time job.
You know, I'm going ahead and set this right here.
Hey, wait. What size shirt are you? Give your job.
Leave me alone, man. I need my job. I got child support.
I need your shirt. Give me the shirt, Gordo, get the vest, Gordo. Get the shoes. Give me the shoes. Gordo, get the truck.
Trump was right. They are taking black jobs. Now, who the hell drinks at 8 in the morning? Give me back my job!
You got to have a sense of humor. And I love people that do. Because, folks, look, what's happening in America it's really a travesty. Because okay, let's go back just 30 years. That's all I'm asking. Go back in time with me just 30 years, okay? I grew up, everybody that was in high school, young adults or going to college, we all had jobs, okay? Not only did we have jobs, but we worked with a lot of older people that had 2 or 3 jobs, and they worked overtime in all of their jobs. It was that overtime that allowed them to stay afloat. Well, then Obama comes in and he does some tinkering with the overtime, and now you can't get overtime anywhere, right? Like it didn't happen. Now teenagers can't find part-time jobs that they can actually pay their bills with. Or while they're in school and college, they simply can't do it. Now, we like to say that generation won't work. But folks, I have 4 kids in that generation, and they want to work. But why would they work for a wage that isn't even going to cover the gas and the cost for them to get to work? Like in the end, they would have been better off just staying home. It's so bad right now for our young adults. We have to clear out all the illegals in the workforce. We have to. Therefore, forcing businesses to hire American employees. American citizens deserve jobs. Watch.
Strongly support deporting immigrants convicted of violent crimes.
Some bodega owners are looking to hire employees, in this case documented employees, because they need to keep moving the economy.
So in places like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, the bodega and other businesses are admitting that they have been hiring under the table employees for years now, saving them money. Because let me explain something to you. When an employer hires you, they have to match your taxes into Social Security and all of that. They have to pay taxes on you, for you, towards your retirement and all of that. I know I'm a business owner. So let me be very honest. I'm a very small business. So when I hire employees for part-time, I pay them cash. And I pay them very, very good because I don't make enough money to pay the opposite end towards their retirement. I'm not somewhere you come to pay your bills. I'm somewhere you come to make a little extra money on the weekend. Do you see what I'm saying? But people who have full-time jobs are not just working for a paycheck. They are working for their future. It is going to be what they get for their Social Security when they retire. So it's important for people to be paid properly. I'm just saying. That's why I believe if you are allowing people here illegal, then illegal things are happening to those people.
That's quite a statement. But it also reveals that most of the business at her store was due to illegal activity, both on the part of the employees and the customers. And it also means that her store might not be able to stay open if that illegal activity disappears. Now, look, I'm a business owner myself, and a store shutting down is never something anybody should be excited about. But if you've got a business and all of the people working there aren't supposed to be in the country, and neither are the customers, who exactly is benefiting from that business other than the owners? And how are all of these customers who don't have legal work authorization able to afford the things in the store? They had to have been getting their money from somewhere, and these places are tiny. They can't employ 400,000 people, which means some of the business these stores were getting is related to criminal activity in other parts of the city. And there's no way around that. If somebody does not have legal work permission, the only way to get a job is to do it in an illegal way. And in some cases, that involves more than just working off the books. It involves shoplifting, which is a big problem in New York because retail theft has been decriminalized, and there are markets all over town where people were just reselling stuff on the sides of the street. On top of that, you've got restaurants full of health code violations renting themselves out to people to just use. And apparently you've got people making food and selling it all over town, totally under the radar of the health department. And the restaurant in question here did not have a satisfactory inspection grade like this place does. In fact, soon after this article came out, it ended up getting shut down, which means people eating that food could have gotten sick. And if people are buying food prepared in an unsafe, unlicensed restaurant that just hurts legitimate businesses like this while making the streets of these neighborhoods much less safe.
We are victims of those criminals. Fernando Mateo says President Trump is making bodegas safer by doing what the criminal justice system has failed to do.
Now, if you've committed a crime, I recommend, other than enter the country illegally, that you look for another place to work. Because if they come looking for you...
So this guy right here, he's the president of the United Bodega Workers of America. And every time something happens in New York that's controversial involving a bodega, he's there to stick up for these people. Every time they get robbed, every time they get raided, every time criminals enter their stores and assault workers. And he says the stores he represents are victims of crime committed by people who aren't supposed to be here. And that's the problem that sanctuary cities have. They're okay with criminal activity as long as it's federal. But they don't seem to understand that by allowing one type of crime, they expose themselves to other types as well. And residents of the Bronx and Washington Heights can attest to this. They're out there saying that their streets were dangerous, all because illegal activity allowed and empowered a criminal element to dig in its heels and take over. And empowering criminals hurts the law-abiding in ways that are less obvious, but are very real for the people affected by them. And if jobs are being given away to people so businesses can break the law and save money, that's something we need to talk about, because it means that these businesses are taking job opportunities away from people who have to obtain them in a by-the-books manner.
Some bodega owners are looking to hire employees, in this case documented employees, because they need to keep moving the economy. In the Bronx, I'm Eliezer Marte.
So look at that. These businesses, now that their employees won't come to work, they've decided that they're going to obey the law and hire people who are on the books, which is going to be good news for people who need their first job and can't get it. And while the immigration activist crowd is out there protesting these raids as being cruel and unnecessary, these very same activists never protested businesses who exploited their workers at the expense of the law-abiding, who they wouldn't hire. However, the open borders crowd is very upset about this, and they've got no intention of staying quiet about it, even though it benefits the very people trying to make it in America, immigrants, who they claim they're advocating for. So as a sanctuary city, New York is in a very strange place. Yes, these ICE raids are getting dangerous individuals, criminals, gang members off our streets. But you've got an entire group of people here who are very proud of New York's sanctuary city status.
I have no
understanding. They don't
understanding.
understand how much harm it's doing. But nonetheless, these are people who are very upset that any of this activity here is taking place, and they want it to stop.
Deportations undermine city families, they undermine city communities, and they undermine public safety. And so what our laws say is that the city is going to divorce itself from what it sees as misguided federal immigration enforcement efforts.
So this professor on the news describing this viewpoint of sanctuary city protections, maybe he holds it himself, maybe he doesn't, but the fact of the matter is, it's the working class neighborhoods that are experiencing Most of the crime related to all of what we're talking about today.
Yeah, it is.
And none of the gang activity plaguing the Bronx or Washington Heights is present in places like Cobble Hill or the West Village. And these raids and crackdowns are something that people who live in these neighborhoods are very happy about. And while activists are out there talking about how terrible these raids are, none of the people who live in these neighborhoods are listening to them. And some of the people taken down in these raids are extremely dangerous. They've been caught trying to buy military-grade assault weapons.
Yeah.
And this gang activity is certainly not a mystery to New York's leaders. They know that a lot of gang-related activity is taking place in shelters like the Randall's Island facility that is in the process of being shut down. You'll find wanted posters outside, and the city knows there are gang members living in these places, taking them over, co-opting them. But because this is a sanctuary city with a right to shelter, the city has plans right now to open a new 2,200-person shelter in the Bronx while all of this immigration-related
and the people that live in the Bronx, it breaks my heart. If you guys will Google that on your phone later, you can find videos of elderly, Asian, whites, blacks, elderly Americans, young Americans, single moms, working men saying, please stop funding this in our community. Yeah, great question, Stephanie. She says, how are sanctuary cities legal? And David said at Stephanie, they aren't. And truthfully, here's where that tug of war between federal and state comes in. There is federal immigration law in this country. There's a federal standard that we are supposed to be following. Any city or state that chooses not to follow federal law should not get federal money. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris told public schools, if you don't allow boys on girls' sports teams and in girls' spaces, we won't give you federal tax dollars. So what did schools do? They folded. They said, fine, we're going to let these little boys who think that they're female into the girls' locker rooms, into the girls' bathrooms, into the girls' sports. This is how you handle sanctuary cities. Federal law says they cannot be here legally. They are illegal. They must go. And if you shelter them or give them funding money, because I'm fixing to show you how much money they give them, then you don't get federal money. That's how you handle that. You use the same playbook, which is it's legal, right? The Democrats did it. So if they could do it in the last 4 years, why can't we apply the same tactics in the next 4 years? I'm just saying. Oh, right. I know. AOC is ridiculous. I mean, guys, come on. She made drinks. She was a barmaid. She wasn't even a bartender. She was a barmaid. And now she's sitting in Congress, and it's horrific to have to listen to her. So let me show you how much money goes towards illegal aliens.
We wanted to show you just how much asylum seekers are getting in some of our biggest blue cities, starting right here in New York. If you're a migrant, you're guaranteed housing, some of them being placed in hotel rooms that average $300 a night. Then a number of those migrants qualify to be part of the $53 million debit card pilot program. That means they are handed $1,000 on a debit card each and every month. Add SNAP benefits on top of that, and we're talking an additional $1,400. In Los Angeles, migrants are given full coverage health insurance and soon could also get $1,000 a month through the city's new guaranteed income pilot program, which is immigration status blind. That means you could get it even if you're not here legally. And in Chicago, they so far have spent $300 million since 2023 on migrants. That's on things like food and even laundry. As part of that spending, it's going towards rental assistance. If you're a migrant there, you could get up to $15,000. We wanted to show you.
So we have people on this channel right now listening to me that are sustaining on Social Security and disability in minimal amounts. You have no choice. I've had so many of you reach out to me and say, Sam, I'm literally one payment from being homeless. When my parents, whom I take care of, because I'm in my 60s or 70s, when my parents pass, I'm going to lose the home that they worked so hard to pay for because I won't be able to pay for the taxes or the insurance or whatever. This is what Americans are facing. People watching their elderly parents grow old and rack up medical bills that you're going to have to sell everything your parents worked their whole life to pay for. You're going to sell it to pay the medical bills. So you're going to be left with no inheritance from your parents. Yet illegal aliens can come, or asylum seekers, as they call them, or the new Americans, as some people call them. Thank you so much, Miss Barbara, for joining us as a member. God bless you. It is sickening, but that's why I'm telling you, you're going to see the sob stories on places like TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, even YouTube, of people crying that, they were good and they came and raided and they took the whole family. Guys, they should not be here. They cost way more than they're ever going to be able to put back. These are people that can't speak English, who don't have any type of education that you can actually verify. These are not doctors, lawyers, engineers, and school teachers. These are housekeepers and grass cutters and unemployed, ill people in your country. They don't have any skills. We don't need any more roofers or grass cutters that speak Spanish in America. And that's the truth. Yeah, Mandy, they are. They are trying to play on your emotions. And it does feel a little insane right now with how people are reacting to our country actually using the laws like they're supposed to be. But what is going to actually happen is Americans are going to see businesses hiring your young adults again at better rates of pay. You're going to see men who desperately want to work. Y'all, any man worth his salt does not want to sit home with his wife and do nothing. Any man worth his salt wants to work and pay his bills. He wants to feed his family. That's the truth. But you cannot continue to demoralize American workers, telling them they're not as good or they're not worth this. Or wait, look, dude, I know you may be forklift certified, CDL carrying, card member of the NRA, but I can hire that illegal at $12 an hour under the table instead of paying you $25 an hour. So go on down the road. They have demoralized our men in this country. They have told them for the past, especially 10 years, that women can do everything a man can, which is a joke. That women should be paid as much as men. And if she's as qualified as him, of course she should. But the truth is, they rarely are as qualified as men when they go into a man's space and attempt to take a man's job. She's just there because somebody told her she could do whatever she wanted, which is great because y'all all know my daddy. Papa Sammy and Allie Bug raised me to think I could do everything a man can and do it better, except I know my limitations. Yeah, amen. Thank you, Pete, for joining as a member. God bless you. I love you guys. I literally have the best YouTube channel. The people on this channel are amazing. Y'all truly are. You're good people. So let's talk about what are they spraying right now in the air, folks.
just launched. So the
Sorry.
first cloud seeding site in Colorado's Front Range, the new pilot program in Boulder County just launched in the last few months. And Fox 31 Denver's Nicole Fierro takes us on site, seeing what this could mean for the area's water supply.
From under our skis to into our Front Range basin.
We're working with Mother Nature to squeeze a little bit more snow out of the clouds.
Cloud seeding, a science technology.
The propane is coming in through here.
That's been used around our state for decades. Now it's being put to the test in the Front Range for the first time with this new state-approved site in Boulder County.
These small generators cover a large area.
Scott Griebling, a water resources engineer with the St. Vrain and Left Hand Water Conservancy District, breaks down the process.
The chemicals that are used have been shown to have no environmental impact.
He says seeding can get an additional 5 to 10% more snow to fall from a storm. Here's how it works. When a storm rolls in with cold temperatures and strong winds, then they vaporize silver iodide into the clouds. That helps increase the number of water droplets that become ice crystals and eventually snowflakes.
We've operated 6 storms so far this winter, starting in December, and we've been really happy with the results.
Each of the state's 8 approved seeding sites, they have a report at the end of the year showing how successful these programs are. Well, last year's reports show over the Central Mountains 7 and more inches of additional snow. At Winter Park, 30 inches of additional powder.
We're hoping to increase flows by 1,000 to 2,000 acre feet just with this pilot program.
Increased water flows in the St. Vrain and Left Hand Creeks during a time where more water can go a long way.
That's going on in the Colorado River Basin.
That's terrifying. I can't wait till the book Leslie and I wrote is available for you guys to read, because silver iodide is not safe for humans. It's not safe for it to be in your water or on your skin or being dumped. And it's not, see, this is what they do. The small amount of chemicals they are using for their cloud seeding project is deemed safe. But what happens when you've got 30 different projects going on in the same area at the same time with everybody's chemicals mixing? It's not safe anymore. There's no one agency or one group saying, whoa, 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 whoa. We can't put any more chemicals up today because we've met the capacity of safe. It's just a free-for-all. My company, your company, that university, this department, that alphabet group, everybody doing their own thing. So, yes, Eddie, as soon as I'm feeling better in the next couple of days, let's talk and get you on here as a moderator. But, yes, Rachel, it is vaping without vaping. You can reach out to me, guys. Everything through Facebook Messenger. I'll check that when I feel a little bit better. I know most of you saw this. It was great. They booed Taylor Swift. It was amazing. It was awesome. I laughed so very hard. And then there was this. Remember I told you they were already greasing the poles in New Orleans yesterday? This is why.
Climb light poles or anything else. Please, Philadelphia, I implore you as your mayor, do not climb light poles or anything else. I know this comes up every time we have an outdoor celebration after our Philly teams win, and I get it. But folks, climbing or attempting to climb up a light pole or a bus shelter, or really any structure for that matter, it can lead to tragedy. We do not want anything.
Can you imagine being the mayor of a city and having to go on the news to tell grown adults, don't climb the light poles? Oh, yeah. The booing of Taylor Swift was amazing. America's back, folks. I know that right now we're all a little like, oh, my God, what's going on now? Every time we turn the TV on, Excuse me, guys. But it is very funny that that is happening. This also is one of my favorite. It's just them all screaming and hollering and just I'm like, whatever. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of clips. The language is a little bad, so I'm going to forewarn you, but we need to talk about it. First, before I show you the bad clip, let's do this one.
Breaking news. Donald Trump just revoked the security clearance of Letitia James and Alvin Bragg and banned them from any federal buildings. Oh, and also this guy too. Anthony Blinken, he is now banned from all federal buildings.
And Joe Biden too.
Representative Darrell Issa is introducing legislation to stop rogue judges and allow President Trump and DOGE to tell you where your money is going. And the DOGE clock update for today. The U.S. debt clock, DOGE, has saved taxpayers $64 billion in just 17 days.
So there may be a reason there were no Elon Musk commercials. There was a federal judge that blocked it and said the American citizens don't have the right to know where all this money is being spent. So for all the doomsers and haters out there screaming, well, just show us the receipts. Show us the receipts. Show us the receipts. There's a reason they can't. Because liberal judges don't think you deserve to see it. Yes. So let's see. Oh, wow. YouTubers in the United Kingdom are now being arrested. Friend, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. This is what's happening across the world right now. Anybody stepping outside of their little information allowable, this is what we're going to allow you to talk about. Those people are being arrested in the United Kingdom right now. Now, this guy's got some pretty nasty language, but I hate to say it, folks. I think probably 70% of Americans are going to agree. Tell me what you think when he's finished.
Talks about these broke ass, bum ass bitches who are a drain on society.
So I receive 3,300 in EBT food stamps a month. Okay, that is just food. $900 in cash benefits. I get it on my EBT card, and then I get like a pack of gum, and then I withdraw the cash from Walmart, Myers, whatever. I also get Section 8 housing, okay? So they pay for most of my rent. I pay like $70-some.
And you wonder why people are mad. You have 6 kids. Who knows what kind of house you have? You probably got a 6-bedroom, 5-bedroom, 4-bedroom, and you paying $70.
And then half of water. Okay. With them requiring me to pay back the last 12 months, add all that up, my TikTok income should not be considered a job.
Really?
It should just be extra. I can't.
So this isn't because of Trump at all. So you get all these benefits, but you thought you was finna have a legal side hustle. So you started making TikToks and started making money from it, right? So 12 months later, Uncle Sam was like, bitch, I know you don't have a job, and we still paying for all this shit. You got to pay all this shit back, my girl. I was getting pissed off watching this story. Notice how the sun just came out? Once the story got brighter, you can't make this shit up.
My whole welfare shut off because I am monetizing on TikTok. There's no possible way that I could support my family on that. So, Michigan, do better.
What?
You're not cutting my crap off. Not happening.
What you gonna do? You saying they're not cutting it off sounds off to me. You're making a video about it. You gotta pay that shit back since you've been getting paid. Sometimes I'm so proud to be an American. Today in single mom news.
You said you was coming over here to get your stuff. That's the only reason I let the door unlocked. But I can't.
Now, that same girl that you just saw talking, that white lady, she's also on another girl's channel I found, and she's complaining because people doxed her. I mean, she's talking about her food stamps, her disability, her Section 8, her free medical. She got 6 kids, faux daddies, making money on the YouTube and the TikTok. And oh my God, wait, you gonna make me pay taxes and not get any free stuff because I make money on TikTok? Yeah, girl. Yeah, that's what Biden hired 87,000 extra IRS agents for women like you.
That I can sit at home and make more money than you do and still drive a nice vehicle doesn't mean you need to go rat me out. And how did you even know that I drive? I never posted my vehicle on any social media. Trying to force me to sell my Tahoe. No.
Yes.
I'm selling my Tahoe, and you're not taking away my welfare.
Yep, it is. Bye-bye welfare.
I deserve every last penny, and you're not taking that away from me. Mind your own business.
But see, the funny thing is, she says, mind your own business while putting her life on TikTok and can't understand how the government knows money's going into her account. Well, thank you, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, because the way it is now set up, every dollar that hits your account, the IRS already knows. Oh, praise God, Salt Shaker. She said, with immigration reform, my husband is finally back to work. Thank God for reform. Folks, it's going to make businesses and illegals uncomfortable, but the American people will only benefit from every single thing Donald Trump is currently doing. So hang in there, my friends. It's only going to get better for you and I. The world is a beautiful, wonderful place, and we're fixing to see the sun shining in all the darkness and all the darkest of places.
They now have until Monday to take
That's
8
today.
months of pay and benefits in exchange for their resignations. The White House is thrilled with the results so far.
More than 40,000 and counting federal workers have agreed to this buyout program, and they are looking forward, I guess, to having their 8-month paid vacation. The president made a commitment that he was going to encourage the federal workforce to return to the office. We know only 6% of federal workers are working in the office right now. That's unacceptable, and that's why the buyout program was offered.
President Trump is also reportedly looking to make major cuts to USAID. That's the agency which historically has focused on foreign development projects. One former employee told Fox News about the agency's mission under former President Biden.
I encountered DEI my very first day on the job. Samantha Power's emphasis on DEI was part of a larger Biden administration effort to infuse DEI into every federal agency. We saw this. You have people taking time off from their jobs to attend these indoctrination sessions, and clearly pushing the message that people are divided into oppressor groups. Particularly disturbing that not only were they pushing with the organization, they're actually funding DEI events all over the world.
Top-rated podcaster Joe Rogan is celebrating the decision to cut programs like this.
What's fascinating right now is we're getting a chance to see what happens when you take a business approach to the government in the White House. We're seeing right now with this whole US aid thing, people are freaking out. The same people that say we need radical change. Right. We need radical change. We've got corruption. We need radical change. Okay, well, here's your radical change. We can't just be spending all our tax money on nonsense.
Senior White House correspondent Peter Ducey.
Now, I did see a couple of people that it's really quite insane, Because as I was doing stuff last night, I see this gentleman. He gets up there, you guys, and he's like, listen, these illegal alien ICE roundups is not about illegal aliens at all. It's about the for-profit corruption and for-profit, what do you call it when you arrest people? You guys know what I'm talking about, the for-profit, mic drop, Tim can't think. When you arrest people, somebody help me. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yes, incarcerating people. And so he's just saying that Trump's rounding up all these illegal aliens to put them in prisons and make them work. I'm like, where do you people get this stuff from? Where do you get this from? Did you ever think that maybe they're child rapists or rapists in general? Or abusers or drug addicts or human traffickers or murderers? Did that ever cross your mind? Oh, sorry, William. I'm not sure how to handle that. Maybe I should get a microphone. Okay, so Rachel said, wait, Rachel, is this the same girl that got caught buying all the soda and dumping it out and then bringing it back inside? Is that the same girl? Because she doesn't deserve anything. I think it's hilarious. Oh, thank you, Cousin K. It is a broken system. So just so you guys know, things are getting better. The executive orders that Trump or that he is signing, that he already has signed, are only to benefit American citizens. Now, I understand there is a lot of confusion where the 14th Amendment is concerned. Folks, listen to me. The 14th Amendment was put in place to assure that African American slaves would be considered United States citizens and their children. Years later, they went back and made sure that Native Americans or American Indians, got to be careful, American Indians, our First Nations, would also be umbrellaed under the 14th Amendment. Okay? The 14th Amendment is to assure that no illegal alien or asylum seeker or somebody here on a green card or somebody here on a work visa can come here, have a baby, and claim citizenship. All right? I'm going to tell you now, they're going to make sure that that stops, which is going to be amazing for American citizens. Yes, like when you clean out your basement or your attic, you stir up a lot of dust before it's actually cleaned. Folks, it's going to be bazonkers out there. I just watched a video of an illegal alien screaming, "This is Mexico, this is Mexico," and taking an American flag down in a national park and pulling up a Mexican flag. When the park rangers stopped her and went to put cuffs on her, she threatened their families. She said that her puppy, her daddy, was going to kill everybody. It was ridiculous. Those types of people do not deserve to be in this country. They have a country. It's called Mexico. We bought, fought, and acquired the United States and made it a sovereign country 200 years ago. You're not getting any land back. This is not stolen land. Stop your ignorance. If you're going to use the stolen land argument, then every person in this world is on somebody else's land. Okay, it doesn't work that way. Yep, she said she would kill their babies too. I heard that. Yeah, she threatened their children. So listen to me now. You do not want these radical leftist people coming out of Mexico. You do not. Send them back. They have a country. Make your country great. You have the same opportunity to fix your country rather than come here to mine and be like a tick on a dog. As of right now, understand this, illegal aliens and anybody that supports it, American citizens are now de-fleeing and de-ticking their country. you got to go. Your entitlement stops now. Love you guys so much. Be blessed. Be safe. Hit that like button. Share our videos. We're growing so fast. I honestly believe we're going to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this month. I love you guys. Be blessed.